In this video, we'll be talking about how to take Cornell Notes. Now, Cornell Notes are also referred to sometimes as two-column notes. To do this, you will need the following things. First, you will need a notebook and a writing utensil. A pen or a pencil works. A lot of people prefer pencil just because if you make a mistake, you can come back and redo it. But if you have a pen, that works as well. And then you will need 3 fingers. Once you have all these assembled, you can begin taking Cornell Notes. Now, to take Cornell Notes, you must first look at your sheet of paper and find the red line on the left side. You will take your 3 fingers and line them up with the red line on the left side of the paper, and then you will draw a line. This gives you 2 columns. Now that we have our line drawn, you have a couple different sections. At the top, you have a big blank area, you have a smaller column on the left, you have a bigger column on the right. Each of these columns or each of these areas will serve a special purpose in your Cornell Notes. At the top is where you will put a title. Typically, this title is provided by the video that you'll be taking notes on. For example, this video was called How to Take Cornell Notes, or just Cornell Notes, which is what you then put on the top. I would make this big and distinctive, so that way when you're flipping through your notes, you can tell exactly what each section of notes is about, and it kind of pops out to you. And if you write it really tiny and small, it makes your notes less effective as you go along. Now let's focus on the left column of your paper. In here, you'll be putting a couple things. The first is headings. These will typically be the really big ideas such as World War II or the Christopher Columbus. Things that are really, really big that we will subsequently be discussing. You can also put vocabulary words in and any other keywords that really get pronounced with emphasis during a video. And there are also sometimes things we'll refer to as essential questions that you will be tasked with answering by the end of the video, such as why did the Europeans begin exploring? Or why did World War I settle on trench warfare? These are key essential questions that by the end of the video you should have an answer to, or you might even see on a paper assignment or some other type of assessment in my class. So it'd be good to write them down. Now, if you notice here, I've also chosen a couple colors, red for vocab, green for essential questions. I personally recommend, whenever possible, using different colors so that way, as you're going back through your notes, you'll be able to easily identify vocab as opposed to headings, as opposed to essential questions. It helps the brain pick things out much more simply. Now, on the right side of your paper, you can do a couple different things. First, you can take notes in what we refer to as a bullet point format. This is just putting little bullets, and any ideas that go with that particular heading, you can just go ahead and jot them down with no real indentation or significance of that, that type. A second way is by doing a more tiered structure where you use a Roman numeral to refer to a big idea, the letter A kind of indented in as a key point, number 1 even further indented as a supporting point, and then small a for smaller details. Either way, whichever method works for you, is fine for this task. It really will depend on the topic. Some topics will lend themselves to being just bullet points so you can plow straight through. Other ones will have a more tiered structure, or I may even tier the structure for you that you can copy down and then add along as you wish. For vocabulary words, on the right hand column is where you can put the definition along with the vocabulary word and any answers to the essential questions. This area is also great for a couple of other things. If there's any kind of charts, if we're talking about certain numbers or certain areas and there's a chart that would really mean something to you, this is a place where you can draw out those kind of charts or graphs, put those numbers. Also, Our brain stores images. This is a great place to draw pictures, so that way as you come back and look through your notes, the pictures will help spark whatever the meaning or idea is that was trying to be portrayed during those notes. Make sure that the pictures are what I refer to as academic doodling. Don't just draw to draw. Draw so that it relates to that particular topic. So once again, these are Cornell Notes, and whenever we have a video lesson like this one, you will be expected to have Cornell Notes by the particular due date in order to show me that you've watched the video and that you have taken notes appropriately.